Dear friends, people around the world have voiced their desired destination, but are looking to us to guide them along the path, looking to us to foresee and prepare. What if Jerusalem, a city that is close to my heart personally and of great historic significance to my family, remains disputed? Can we afford to rob Christians and Muslims alike of the spirituality, peace, and coexistence that this city symbolizes, and instead allow it to descend into political conflict?
عيوننا إليك ترحل كل يوم، ترحل كل يوم، تدور في أروقة المعابد، تعانق الكنائس القديمة وتمسح الحزن عن المساجد. عيوننا إليك ترحل كل يوم، ترحل كل يوم، تدور في أروقة المعابد، تعانق الكنائس القديمة وتمسح الحزن عن المساجد. يا ليلة الإسراء، يا درب من مروا إلى السماء، عيوننا إليك ترحل كل يوم وإنني أصلي.
And I ask you another what if. What if Iraq fails to realize the potential and aspirations of its people and slips back into an erratic 17-year cycle of recovery and relapse? Or worse yet, conflict. Iraq is home to 12% of the world's proven oil reserves. But more importantly, it is home to over 40 million people who have suffered through 4 decades of war, crippling sanctions, occupation, sectarian conflict, and the terror of ISIS. Today, their future rests on a fragile peace. And I, for one, will not abandon our brothers and sisters there.
بغداد والشعراء والصور، ذهب الزمان وضوعه العطر. يا ألف ليلة يا مكملة الأعراس، يغسل وجهك القمر.
Now, what if Syria remains hostage to global rivalries and spirals back into civil conflict? What if we see a re-emergence of ISIS and Syria becomes a staging ground for attacks against the rest of the world? Syria may be out of the headlines, with its suffering out of sight and out of mind. But the crisis is far from over. Over the past 9 months, more than 500,000 people have been displaced, many of them already refugees. Do any of us in this hall want to see another Syrian refugee crisis unfold with all its horror and heartbreak? Or another innocent child washed up upon your shores? And I know I speak for everyone here when I say absolutely not.
أنزلت حبك في آهي فشددها، تربت فكنت المجد المجد في طربي شام المجد أنت المجد لم يغب.
And let me ask you, what if Libya collapses into an all-out war and ultimately a failed state? What if Libya is the new Syria, just much closer to the continent you all call home? And let me say again, what if Arab governments fail to create the more than 60 million jobs our youth will need in the coming decade? And if we fail, wouldn't we in fact be creating a perfect setting for extremist groups? We make their job of recruitment easier if we leave behind a trail of vulnerability and hopelessness. We are all very fortunate, for a life spent in the service of others is a life fully lived. But only if we live up to the expectations of the millions of people with us in this hall today. If we falter, the most vulnerable pay the highest price. The young men and women who look to their future and see nothing. Bewildered refugee mothers clutching their children with no place to call home. Or anxious fathers who cannot find jobs to provide for their loved ones. And the many who feel sidelined, their identity under threat. The defining feature of the past decade has been people finding their voices. Millions across the world have poured onto the streets, marched, occupied, sat down, sat in, tweeted, podcasts, hashtag what they want, loud and clear. And they all want the same thing, a fair chance, a fighting chance. My father, the late King Hussein, taught me that peacemaking is always the harder, but the higher path. And a tough road is best walked with our friends. Friends like you and the people of Europe, so that together we can reach the future that both our peoples aspire for and that they and our whole world deserve. Thank you very much.
احنا مولاي بنحبك لانه مقتنعين فيك. إن قبل فترة كنا نلتقي مع رؤساء بلديات من الدول العربية، فغالبا بتعرفوا انه يعني غيابيا انه بنحب رئيسنا وكذا. نحكي احنا بنحبك لانه بنتابع شرحك لرسالة الاسلام السامحة بالاتحاد الاوروبي، الشرح الرائع لهاي الرسالة. بنحبك مولاي في لقائك في الكونغرس الامريكي وبنرفع راسنا فيك.
أرض العزم أغنية الظبا، نبت السيوف وحد سيفك ما نبت في حجم بعض الورد، إلا أنه لك شوكة ردت إلى الشرق الصبا.
أرض العزم أغنية الظبا، نبت السيوف وحد سيفك ما نبت.
فرضت على الدنيا البطولة مشتهى، وعليك دينا لا يخان ومذهبا. فرضت على الدنيا البطولة مشتهى، وعليك دينا لا يخان ومذهبا في حجم بعض الورد، إلا أنه لك شوكة ردت إلى الشرق الصبا.
أرض العزم أغنية الظبا، نبت السيوف وحد سيفك ما نبت.